Hi guys, today I'm going to be playing around with the new contour stuff from Freedom. I have some cream stuff, some powder stuff, a brush, just lots of fun things to play with, even a strobe cream, which I'm really excited to show you. Now the cream products I've tried less of since I've got them. Some of the powder products have been knocking around in my handbag, so they might look a little bit worse for wear, but I've been really enjoying using those. But for the purpose of this video, I want to show everything in action. So who knows, I might fall in love with a totally different consistency than what I would normally go for. The first thing I'm going to show you is the strobe cream. This is a little bit of kind of a hot topic at the moment. People are excited about this, and with good cause, because it's one of those products that normally you wouldn't even necessarily look at unless you knew what it did. Unless someone told you that you needed it, you wouldn't know. And even to swatch it in store, when I first swatched it, I thought, well, it's very subtle. There's not a lot, but that's kind of the whole point for me. I don't like a real big gleaming glittery highlight, and strobe cream like this is perfect for me for that reason, because I mean you can't see any sparkle or glitter there, but where I'm going to apply it you're going to see just a very subtle glow. And for the highlights that I'm going to go and put there on top of that, it suits really nicely to layer with the more subtle highlight that I like. Now you could use this underneath your makeup, you could mix it in with your foundation. I like to, once I've got my foundation on, just apply it tops of my cheekbones, blend it a little bit to my temples, and that is it. But if I did want to glow a little bit more, if I felt like I was really dull, you know, very late night and your skin is just looking a bit rubbish, then I might put it all over before I applied my foundation. Which, to be fair, I don't do a full face of foundation all that often. It's mostly just concealer, and so it does kind of peek through all that more if I put it all over. I don't even know if that's showing up on camera, but I can see it in my mirror here. Just a very subtle glow. It is definitely a pro product, not something that you would necessarily see in a drugstore normally, swatch it and think, ooh, because that's kind of what you want to see. It's one of those products that you have to go looking for, knowing what it does, knowing what it's there for and what it's going to do for you, rather than be kind of wowed by it. It's just one of those kind of staples that you're gonna, like a foundation, you don't swatch a foundation and think, wow, this foundation, it just does what it's supposed to do. And you're not supposed to necessarily go, oh, I can see this on you. It's all part of the illusion. Next I'm going to try the contour sticks, which I've actually been quite enjoying. As cream contour goes, these are really easy to use. I believe I have the light one here. If you compare it to this, I mean, I feel, for me, with not a tremendous amount of skill in this area, I feel quite daunted by this. This is a lot less scary. You know what it does. It kind of is going to give you a vague idea just from putting the lines on your face. You can blend it out very easily. You don't need any extra products. There's no brushes or anything involved. And it's just generally easier. You just look at it and think, I can do that. So with the contour stick, on the packaging, same as with the palette, it does have a little kind of guide as to where you will put it. So let's do that now and see what happens. So I look a little bit mad right now. I'm actually going to use a brush just because I have it to hand, but you could use your hands. And I'm going to blend this out. Let's see what happens. This is a, you know, this is a try with me situation. Do I look sculpted? You tell me. First attempts at these things. So the same kind of thing would be said for the palette. So let's just kind of go over that a little bit. I just want to show you what the textures are like. This was very dry. It's almost a cream to powder, and I can't feel any stickiness at all on my face. So that's part of the reason that I kind of lean towards that as well. Whereas this one, just to kind of look at it, looks a little bit shinier. So potentially I'm going to get a bolder highlight contoured look with this. But it may still blend out very nicely. So let's just go, I want to go back into those highlighted areas more than anything. Rather than kind of accentuate the dark, I'm going to go back into the highlighted portions of my face. Oh, that's already much more pigmented. So I think that this probably is more on the pro side. If you are confident or looking more to kind of experiment with, well, I don't even want to say heavy. It doesn't have to be heavy. I suppose just if you are a little bit more confident, which I feel like this is blending really nicely. I could probably use this. Okay, I am going to go in with a little bit of a darker shade. I'm going to go in with this not so dark, dark shade first. Err on the side of caution. That's actually really impressed me. It's much more pigmented than the stick. Obviously, I mean, you could use your fingers with this if you really wanted to, but I kind of feel like you need the brush to blend it out with. However, the brush does come with it. This brush is absolutely amazing. I use this all the time. I love this thing. Very fine and, well, not fine, but it's thick and tapered, and just brilliant, like fit for purpose product. And it comes with both this and the powder version, which we'll show you in a second. But I've been really impressed by that. It blended really nicely. It doesn't, again, feel heavy or sticky on my skin at all. It feels like it absorbed quite nicely. Really nice. It's all going to depend on whether you want something light or heavy, I think, and this is definitely something that you could use on the go. So this is what we're going to get into next. It's the powder version of exactly the same palette. So colour to colour, they should be very similar. I do have some swatches I'll put on screen now, I believe, of them kind of side by side, so it goes like cream powder in the different colours so you can compare. This is the one that I've been using most just because I am more comfortable with powder, but that doesn't make it better. It just means that it's kind of my comfort zone. So I'm going to just, again, go in. I feel like if you were going to do a really full contour, if I was going to go out and do something as contoured as, I say as contoured as this, I always see the difference afterwards, but when you've actually blended it out in that moment, you can't see a major difference. But when I see pictures afterwards, I always see a difference. But if I was going to go for this is a heavy contour for me, then I probably would lock it in with the powder as well, just to make sure that it was going to stay put. So I'm going to go in with the dark first and use that. And this is when it's useful to have both palettes because they come with the brushes and you can have two of the brushes, which means you could use one for light and one for dark. And then I'm going to use the very pale colour, this one here. At this point, I feel like I have used so many products on my face, but I really want to show you the kind of stars for me, which were these two pro highlights that were added with the last kind of batch of products. And I didn't even know about them. I wasn't expecting to find anything else that I really loved. I knew about the brow products, I knew about the contour products, but these were total kind of curveballs for me. I was like, wow, I just, wow. And they are the Diffused Pro Highlight and the Ambient Pro Highlight. Now you can see, just at a glance, this one has been my absolute favourite. I use this almost as an overall face powder. I just give myself a really subtle ambient glow. That would be the best explanation for it. So I use this almost all over my face. And then if I want something a little bit more bold on my cheeks, then I use this one, which is Diffused. So I'm going to go in with the Ambient. I recently have been using this one kind of in place of everything. I haven't used it, or I haven't used blush, nothing. It has just a kind of subtle hint of something colour-wise, but nothing so much that I think it would mean that you couldn't wear it on different skin tones. Everything just looks so glowy and airbrushed after using this. And I think that if you do use these kind of products, they can make your face look a little bit, although you've given it dimension, it can look a bit dull and dry if you use a lot of products, especially if your skin is not in its best condition, if it is a little bit dry, which mine is right now. Then these kind of products, then they just kind of blur everything and make everything look a little bit glowy and nice, instead of making them look like you're wearing tons and tons of makeup. It diffuses everything, which is kind of what it's supposed to do, I suppose. So I've used that as kind of an overall glowy finishing powder, and then I'm going to use this one, which was the Diffused, just on the tops of my cheeks. I love these. These would be star products if I had to pick, which I will at some point do a best of Freedom for you guys when I've really narrowed it down. But these are definitely up there. These, you know, spoiler alert, these would be in there for sure. So that is it. That's all of the new contoury, strobey, highlighty things that are available in the newer launch. Everything should be available now in Superdrug. Again, as I said in the previous video, I will link below links to the Superdrug, links to buying it from Superdrug, as well as links to find out if it's in your local Superdrug store or where your nearest Superdrug is that is stocking Freedom, because so many people have asked that question. I hope that this has been useful for you guys. Please don't think of this as a tutorial. It's just kind of a let's play with this stuff. You know, you probably know a lot more than I do. I just want to show you the stuff in action so that you can see it in case you don't get to go to a store and try it out. You really want to see it, you know, actually on someone's face. So if I can do this, not to say this is great, but if I can do this, then imagine what you can do with these products. Like I say, all the links below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!